Hey guys, Chris here again from Sienci Labs, and I'm back with another 5 tips for gSender to make your CNCing experience better. So let's hop right in. The first one that I want to be showing you today is how you can, if you've loaded up files before in gSender, how you can quickly just pull them right back up again. All you have to do is hit this side button here, and you can see the last 5 projects that I've run. So let's say I want to load up my sheep. There we go. Or let's say I want to go back to that pirate ship that I just had open. Now it's right loaded up. Very quick, very easy. The next one that I want to show is keyboard shortcuts, actually. You might not necessarily use a keyboard all the time with the G control panel, but if you imagine this is a regular computer screen, keyboard shortcuts can be very useful for controlling gSender, especially if you want to be clicking something, you want to set up a macro pad, or you're just not a fan of using a mouse. It'll allow you to put your eyes just on the machine while you're controlling it. So the way I've already set it up is I can hold my shift and press a certain direction to jog in that direction. I can jog the Z-axis too. I've also set it up so that I can set my 0 point with shift 2. So let's say I jog out of the way and then I want to go back to that 0 point. These are all able to be set up if you go to the settings, shortcuts, keyboard shortcuts. The whole list is here, and you can just go in and edit any of the ones you want to control. These are also pretty handy because they don't allow you to just jog or set zeros or anything like that. It also allows you to actually open up other tabs in gSender. So for instance, if I hit F2, I've set it up to open the surfacing tool. F4, I've set up to open the calibration tool. And then F6, that was to open the gSender help page. These are all different things that you can visit, and it makes it so that you can almost completely navigate gSender through a keyboard if you'd like, which I think is pretty cool. Tip number 3, which is very similar, is joystick control. So this is just a run-of-the-mill Xbox style controller. We've tested gSender with a lot of controllers, and most of them we found to work. So this one, just like many other, you can just plug it in with a USB. Some they can work over Bluetooth as well, as long as you have the receiver that you can plug in. And this is in the same place. You just go to your shortcuts, go to the Gamepad, and you can just make a new profile. And in this case, I've already made a profile for it, which is this guy here. You can see all the different things you can do with the thumbsticks, with the button presses, and I've actually already set this all up, so I'm going to give you a quick demonstration of what that looks like. So here I'm just going and I'm jogging my X and my Y axis with the D-pad here. I've also set it up so that I can set my X, Y, and Z axis zeros, and then if I jog over, I can go back to those positions. So if I jog up, and then I go back in the Y axis, or if I jog over and back, I can go back on both. One of the cool things we've implemented, and this is tip number 4, is what's known as a lockout button and a second action button. The lockout button, you can think about it as like a safety for your joystick, where if you don't want to accidentally nudge into it to make it move, it won't move. So I've set the lockout button to be this trigger here, and what that means is if I press the side jog right now, it won't do anything, but as soon as I'm holding that and I jog, it'll jog just fine. So it's kind of like a dead man lockout to keep your machine safe in case you nudge into it or the controller falls off your table. What the second action button does, you can assign that to any button as well. I've assigned it to this trigger here, and this acts as basically like a shift key, like how a shift key works on a keyboard, but for a joystick. And this basically allows all of the other buttons on your joystick to get a second set of actions, which doubles up the functionality that you can get out of your joystick. So as I was showing, when I go to jog and then I hit X, it's going to zero my X out. But if I jog again and then I hold the second action key, my shift key, and I hit X again, then that acts as a go-to movement. So a set would be if I'm not holding it, and if I'm holding it, it would be a go-to movement. We actually have these handy little highlights so you can see the lockout that I'm holding. If I press X on here, it'll zero it. If I hold the second action, that highlights, and if I press X again, it'll act as the go-to. So it's pretty intuitive in order to see how it all comes together. The last one that I wanted to show you is just relating to your day-to-day use of gSender. The ability to actually have the app reconnect to your Sienci anytime you reopen it. So this is a setting that if you go into settings, it's right here, called reconnect automatically. It's very simple in the way that it works. Let's say I exited out of gSender and then I reopened it. What it's going to do is remember that it was connected to this specific machine, and it'll just reload that connection when it opens back up. And there you go. Just like that, we're reconnected to the machine. You didn't have to do anything. So there you go, guys. Those are my next 5 tips for gSender. I hope you enjoyed them. Let me know in the comments which you like the most, or if you want to hear more exactly about how they work, let us know. Keep your eyes out for more tips, and I'll see you next time. We've got a brand new version of gSender ready for release. You can go and download it now.